What's up folks, this is JazzPorks making yet another YouTube video. This video shall be 17 interesting facts about Mass Effect. I found these online and we're going to go through each one of them. Okay, let's do this. Number 17. Javik was supposed to be in the main game of Mass Effect 3. Yes, as assumed back when he was labeled as Day 1 DLC, the plot essential Prothean Javik was initially an integral part of Mass Effect 3's story, but BioWare was forced to remove him to meet EA's ridiculously tight demands for release dates, adding him as a DLC as soon as possible for the sake of realizing their initial vision. So, Javik was supposed to be the main part, though. It was supposed to be 7 squad members originally. Okay, that's another card. Alright, here we go. 16. It was originally called, Mass Effect was originally called Science Fiction X. Still a pretty cool name, all things considered. This working title almost stuck all the way to retail, but instead BioWare had designed an entire mythos around humanity's interaction with the illustrious Mass Effect fields. They elected to retitle it accordingly. Okay, hang on. I'm actually reading this off as we're recording. Okay. Number 15. Mordin Silas was inspired by Clint Eastwood. It seems so obvious when you have them side by side, but even though the base Solarian design was modeled on that old school bulb-headed alien look from the 50s, Mordin's forever serious, wrinkly scowl in particular was taken from the aging silver screen legend Clint Eastwood, whom I am not familiar with entirely. Okay, number 14. Commander Shepard's male face model, let's keep that in mind, wants nothing to do with the game. Maybe it's a little strong to phrase it that way, but considering one Mark Vanderloo, the Dutch model who modeled Shep's face, has had zero contact with the game's press materials and even turned down an offer to play the Commander at a cosplay event, it's safe to say he's pretty content not being associated with the game or the fans. Chances are they only keep asking him what his favorite store on the Citadel is. Funny. Mass Effect 2 reference, he constantly says, "I'm Commander Shepard and this is my favorite store in the Citadel," as a to get advertisements, as an advertisement for free stuff. Okay, number 13, which is now blocked. Come on. Go away. Okay, there are multiple hidden romances, and they were thinking it was only Shepard getting in on the action. Instead, across all 3 games, there are other romances going on, depending on certain choices. Tali and Garrus hook up if you're not romancing either one of them. Normandy engineers Ken and Gabby do the same. And in the Citadel DLC, if Ashley or Vega aren't your other halves, they'll find happiness in each other too. Vega's not a romance option, so all you have to do is just not romance Ashley. So, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Just scroll this down. Sorry. Number 12. Buzz Aldrin voices the Stargazer. Although his delivery isn't really that great, the guy would have been around 82 at the time of recording now. World-famous astronaut Buzz Aldrin voices the final lines in the trilogy as the character called the Stargazer recounts your tales as a Shepard. Of course, that's only if your character's male. If your character's female, then it's a female voice. Okay. Number 11. You weren't supposed to fight the Illusive Man in Mass Effect 3. Looping the final game back around how things went in the first, initially, you were supposed to take on the Illusive Man in a Saren-like fight as he slowly gave in to the Reaper indoctrination. Apparently, the team thought this was too similar to the first game and a bit too video gamey, although a giant robot baby from Mass Effect 2 was fine. And elected to have the final scene be a dialogue-based showdown instead. Of course, Jack dies either way. Can't say I really missed the man. Okay, number 10. Garrus's romance option was added due to fan feedback, believe it or not. Though it was BioWare who had the idea to get stuck into a Razorface all along. Instead, an immense amount of feedback from the players after the first game made everyone's favorite Turian a romanceable option in the second and third. Second and third. Nevermore would you miss out on some sweet cat-faced love. Alright, let's see. Next, we have number 9. Your crew was supposed to die storming the final Reaper. If you kept up with all the hate back in 2012 around why your crew members went from being by your side 1 minute to walking around an entirely different planet to the next, it's because they weren't supposed to be there in the first place. Instead, whoever you chose to accompany you in the final run would die by your side, making their sacrifices a bigger motivation to stick to the Reapers. Instead, until the extended cut rectified their motivations, they just kind of disappeared. Alright, number 8. The game will respond if you probe Uranus, or as some people say, Uranus. If you already have a particular way of thinking, you might literally have already found this one. Sorry, I read that wrong. I got that poorly. In Mass Effect 2, as part of the game is mining for various types of materials in an open galaxy, if you take your ship over to Uranus, literally any sentence with that planet is always funny. And launch a probe, either you remark, "Really, Commander?" before saying, "Probing Uranus." Like some friend who's sick of "that's what she said" jokes. Now, it is kind of an used up joke. It's been done to death and then revitalized many times ever. Okay, anyways, number 7. Yvonne Strahovski is the perfect woman. Aside from Mir, the gorgeous Yvonne Strahovski provided the basis for Miranda Lawson's impeccably designed face. In fact, a lot of her features are actually exactly the same as Yvonne Strahovski. Height, appearance, eyes, sometimes hair, if you've seen Chuck. The funny thing is that in the game's universe, you're told she needs extensive biological rewiring and experimentation to be the perfect woman, in line with what all men's desires combined would look like. But in real life, Strahovski's this totally natural knockouts by default. That's actually what she really looks like. So the game just used her face and her voice. Her real voice, her accent, not what you see in the TV series Chuck. Anyways, number 6. Krogan faces are based on bats. Although there are a litany, I think I said that right, of biological influences across the board in Mass Effect, the Krogans in particular have their overly crumpled, pugnacious faces based directly off of that of bats, albeit with suits of armor and reinforced skin sitting on top. Okay, alright, number 5. Commander Shepard's voice actor also does the Vulture and more. A cool shout out to Mark Meer, the voice actor who played male Commander Shepard, as apparently his vocal cords are more elastic than he's known for. Meer goes from the at times booming dictation of Shepard to the strained demonic likes of the Vulture, and even the lackadaisical half-asleep tone of the Hannah. His roles getting more varied as the games went on. Wow. Must have magic vocal cords, or as I've learned in some classes, vocal folds, actually. Okay, number 4. The majority of players go Paragon. That's good. Across the board, even though Fox News and plenty other reactionary, all is lost style news broadcasts of the time were labeling Mass Effect as some uber-violent sex simulator, when data came back from Mass Effect 3, 64% of all people actually went Paragon. There's hope for humanity yet. And there's actually a reason for that. Because if you go Paragon with Mass Effect 3, you actually get the majority of assistance that you need, so you can actually have a happy ending when you finish Mass Effect 3. Okay, anyways, speaking of the 3s, number 3, The Asari were created purely as a race of beautiful women, fulfilling the wishes of every sci-fi fan in existence. Not mine. BioWare decided, when coming up with the idea of another race, to add to the pool that they should all be beautiful women through and through. The fact that even with the gorgeous Miranda up for grabs in Mass Effect 2, Liara remaining a firm fan favorite is evidence enough of this. In fact, in Mass Effect 1, you can actually have both genders romance Liara. Okay, number 2. The Solarians are the prototypical alien race from the 1950s. You might just assume this through visuals alone, but the Solarians were directly based off the back of the old school look aliens always have in everything, from abduction footage to the Seth Rogen voiced Paul from 2011. I saw that. And finally, we have this last fact. Number 1. Mass Effect exists solely because of Star Wars. The story goes that LucasArts approached BioWare with some options to create a game that would tie into Episode 2, or one that would be set thousands of years before the original Star Wars trilogy. BioWare thankfully did the latter, and birthed Knights of the Republic, which is actually a fun game. It's available for the iOS. A phenomenal game. However, as they worked through it, and upon its completion, they wanted far more creative freedom to do what they please, and thus they broke away from doing another Star Wars tie-in and worked on what would eventually become Mass Effect. And that's actually it. That's all 17 facts. I'm going to stop here now. Thank you for watching. I do hope you appreciated it. You can like and comment, you can share this video if you want. I'll try and get back to you with some more facts, more interesting facts, stuff like that. And we can go from there. That's all I got. Thank you so much. It's Jasper Fox signing out.